Hey there, everybody. Are you looking at wanting to create some AI art in different styles? Or maybe you have a drawing or a photo that you wish to change the style it's in. Well, good news for you because we'll be showing you today how to do that in Comfy. Welcome to the Digital Paul Workshop. It is I, the style class that ruins the harmony between your subject and background, Techno Meow Tinkerer. Let's log on in. So as you see, I already got Comfy set up here, and these are going to be the basic ones you're going to kind of need for all your, for both ways I'm going to be showing you. And you have your normal checkpoint. So like this time, I'm just going to go ahead and just select that for this. For your checkpoint, you want that. Of course, you need to have it going. In this case, I got to go into my clip text encoder for both the positive and negative, and then them both go into K sampler. As well as, I got to make sure everything's clipped together. Of course, got the model connected, and I got the VA going to the VA decoder, and then to preview out. So this is the basic setup you're going to need for all the ways I'm going to be showing you today. As far as these pieces are going to be the same. But the first thing I'm going to cover is how to import a picture and then kind of manipulate that picture, so to speak. So I'm going to come up here to the top. I'm going to double click to open up this thing, and I'm going to do load image. Of course, this is the last image I was playing with. Good old handsome me. And so we're going to bring that in. And then I'm going to actually bring in a VAE encoder. And so we're going to connect the image to pixels, and I'm going to collect this VAE to this VAE, and then this latent to this latent. So as you can see here, getting closer, how I got everything connected, because this VAE is going both to this encoder and then this decoder, and of course this VAE encoder is going down to the latent image here. And so let me just add some prompts in. A metal robot arm. Let's just see how much this does. And of course the all these normal negative prompts, just can copy and paste. Now, one key factor to pay attention to here is the denoise. The one means that it's going to be completely different from this image up here, so it's going to be completely different. 0, if I change it to 0, means there's going to be really no change in that image. So for about, let's do a 0.65 just to see how much of a change it does. And then let's click run and see what it gives me. It may take a moment for it to produce, so I might just fast forward or just do a exchange. Okay, so this really kind of puts my system to the limit. For some reason, I forgot to change that denoise down a little bit more, and so it kind of created a very interesting look here. Not exactly what was the one I was meant to actually do. This is 0.65. So we'll try that. So let's quickly try that. Okay, there we go. That looks a little bit more better, like the picture I wanted. We now got a bit more robotic looking Tinkerer now. I don't know, it's giving me a bit more feminine features, it looks like. It's got a little blush going on there. Oh, what it is you're seeing underneath my chastity. Yeah, poor attempt at this. I do like the way it did the front there. It's a kind of very interesting, unique take on doing a cross. I might actually want to incorporate that in a design in the future. But yeah, as you can see, that's just the basic way of how you can just take a simple image and kind of just give it a slightly different look. Now we're going to get on into the next workflow that we're going to need to do, and that's going to be to actually start incorporating different art styles. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete a couple of these. I do not need this one for this. We'll bring them back in later, but for right now I don't need them. But what you're going to need to do, and we're going to come up here to the manager, is you're going to need to make sure you have, what's it, CSV? Yeah, let me turn my internet on. Get it back. Okay, here we go. CSV, yeah. This is what you want. You want the Comfy UI style CSV loader. This is what I'm using. So that's the one you need. That's the one I downloaded. And so what I'm going to need to do now is I'm going to have to come in and double click there, and I'm going to put in CSV styles loader. Now, before we get into it, you can, let's zoom in here. We kind of see he's got these different styles. Now I downloaded the folder, and let me bring something right quick up. I'm going to bring this. You know, when you download it, and see mine's down here, the styles is CSV file way down here at the bottom. And I make sure when you download it in your Comfy folder, so it's the one that you kind of got like your main .pye license. All this stuff is just your main directory, instead of where you got, make sure you got your your same place where you got your models folder, your input folder, that sort of stuff. So let's bring back the Comfy interface we was working with. Bring back it over here. Now, there's a few things we're going to need to do. I'm going to slide some of this stuff over and make this back to being 1. We are going to need to bring our empty latent in. We didn't need it. Oops, come on. We didn't need it because we was using a previous image to feed in the information size last time, but we're going to need it for this. Now, I'm going to slide this over. Let's see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to Control C for copy, then paste. And lastly, reduce this down in size a little bit. Come on, where's the edge? Where is the edge? You ain't going to give it to me, are you? Oh, there we go. For some reason, whoops, it's not showing me the some of the stuff here. That's probably because of the browser that OBS. So I'm going to paste one more down here. And so what I'm going to do right now on this one is I'm going to right click and come on down to change it to this convert widget to input, convert text to input. Same thing with this one. And so now I can actually connect this positive to this one and this negative to this one. Now, an issue we're going to have is you can't connect 2 positives to this one directly. And so what I'm going to need to do now is bring in a catcon. Correction is concat. So that's what let's see, that's the thing I need. This one right here, the conditioning concat. Bring that in. I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste it with Control C and Control V because I don't need it twice. I'm going to connect this positive to this one and then this positive to this one. Kind of get in here a little bit so you can see what I do. Then I'm going to make this positive over here to this. The same thing with the negative. I'm going to bring in the negative, connect both of the negatives to this one, and then bring it here. And you can do more of these. So like if I wanted to add another negative prompt, I'll have to add another I can add another negative one, and then I'll have to add another concat. So let's do something right real quickly. So like if I just copy and paste this one, I'm going to need to copy and paste that. What I'll end up having to really do, if I want to do 3, it's going to have to connect them this way, and then connect this up here to this. So yeah, you can do a bunch of these, but you can have to do them in a tree-like fashion, or I would say best to describe it more like a river, like the different streams flowing into one river. But we don't need that, so I'm going to delete this and delete this. And in this case, we're going to give what I'm actually going to do now is I'm actually going to bring in a Laura. You can actually just do it in this way in whatever style you want. Let's see, painting. Let's just do an oil painting. I'm going to bring in a Laura. Load Laura. Move my model here. This clip here, and then just move this clip here and here. Also, I need to make sure that it's connected to these other two as well, the clip. That's something else I forgot to do. If I didn't have the Laura, this clip here, right over here on the load checkpoint, is going to have to be connected to all of these clips as well. But since I got the Laura in place, it's connected to those. And let's just move this model. Whoops. Right, let's see, move this model over here. And I'm just going to do TMT. I'm not dynamite. And let's go ahead and copy these prompts on over. I don't need to change nothing to -1 because it's the same. Now let's see. So it's depending upon whether you're using a Laura or not. If you're not using Laura, these can be straight and whatever you type in here. But since I'm using a Laura, so let's hit run and see what it gives us. Boy, that did do a interesting number on my character. You got the blue hair. It definitely look a lot more oil painting. Interesting how the hair is kind of flowing in the background, almost more like feathery. But yes, it's depending upon which checkpoint you're using, and Laura might be depending upon what you're getting outcome. So now let's combine this with the first way of manipulating an image. So let's get in here. Let me bring up my chart so I make sure I get everything done right. We don't need this anymore. I'm going to get rid of Laura. I don't really need it. Yeah, see right here where all the clips connected to everything. You do want to make sure on that. So let's see. Well, oh yeah, I need the load image. Bring that back in. The VAE encoder. Make sure we connect everything correctly. That to there. That to there. Bring this latent on over here. And I'm going to change this to robot. Let's zoom in here so I can see what I'm doing. Robotic arm with blue neon lights. Just to give us something. And I'm going to change this back to my anime one. And that's back. The only difference we have between the first one and the second one is that we just don't have that latent image down there. So let's see it run and see what we get. So, whoa, what do we get here? That just gave me a totally different scene than what I want. Oh, I forgot to change the denoise, dummy me. Second time I forgot to do that. So, one thing I'm going to point out is whenever it gets to this VA coding, for some reason, I don't know if it's because of the size of the image, but it kind of starts using up my resources. I get warning out of memory when running regular VA decoding, and I get a thing up on my screen. But let's rerun this right quick and see if we can actually get something a little bit more closer to this picture up here. And so we are done now here. Let's see what we got. We got a little bit of a techno thing going on here. You can kind of see it looks like it's done in some paint. What was it? Oil paint or something we had this thing into? Yeah, oil paint. So you kind of see, we're kind of seeing that. Let's zoom out and bring this in. Zoom in closer. So I did change my visor to almost like facial art. You can really tell on the chest where it's kind of oily, but you can kind of see some of the same art design. So yeah, that's close. Not exactly 100% perfect. I probably have to go in and fiddle with the denoise some more just to try to get it close to being like the original but done in the oil painting style. But that is basically how you can kind of combine some stuff. And that should help you get started in creating art in different art styles and different ways. If you got a picture you drew and you want to change it, or if you just want to create something in a particular style using AI, this should get you started. And of course, if you like my content, you can always support me by going to these websites right here in different ways. Some links to some other stuff's in the description, as well as like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone you think might find it interesting. Now, if you're interested in using multiple lures, especially in combination with this to create stuff, I have not tested it out yet, but if you're free to do so of your own will, just check out my video on how to use lore nodes and stack multiple lures. Until next time, have a nice day.